Some supporters of a wealth tax in the United States claim that it would weaken the political and economic power of the very richest. I don't really agree that that would be the case. Even with a wealth tax, and even with less wealth, the very richest would still be the very wealthiest in the United States and still yields probably the same amount of political and economic power. From my own perspective, the main advantage of a wealth tax is that it has the potential to raise a lot of money, and yet relatively few taxpayers would pay it, and those taxpayers are the ones who have the means to pay the tax. That said, for some of the reasons I've already said, I don't think a wealth tax has a political future in the United States.
It is very interesting to look at past experiences with wealth taxes because they're not new instruments. The provision of exemptions and reliefs made wealth taxes more difficult to administer and to comply with, but probably more importantly, what they did was to effectively reduce the progressivity and the redistributive effects of wealth taxes. And if you have a wealth tax that's levied on relatively low or moderate levels of wealth, well, you increase the chances of these types of scenarios happening. You don't fully get rid of the issue if you focus on the extremely wealthy, but you minimize that issue.
In our opinion, we were very conservative because already the adjustment to national balance sheets actually is quite conservative, because we assume that this is basically the total amount of wealth that is there, which is of course false. If you consider the massive wealth that is in offshore accounts, etc. So we really put our focus on what is actually achievable when we look at estimating tax revenues. We came to the conclusion that annual revenue potential for just the Euro countries, that's not even the EU 27, would be around 156 billion of euros. And maybe to put this into perspective, this is approximately the total annual EU budget.